pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call.
Wyatt,
Hi, here.
Engel will be here, Reister,
Here.
Buns,
Present.
Stabell.
Motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Consent agenda, anything to remove? No. Entertain a motion to approve. So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Can we make a note on here about trick or treating night so that everybody knows about it?
Yeah,
It's in the consent agenda, but it's,
I'll, I think last year I put a ad in the paper and I'll put it on Facebook, but yeah.
Yeah, so trick or treating, Beggars Night is October 31st from 5:30 to 7:30, correct?
that's what it says.
Do that.
There will also be a Chamber of Commerce event sometime that week before.
Yeah. the
That same thing that they
24th.
did last
Yeah,
year?
that business booth.
Businesses,
I think
There's
it's the
gonna be
24th.
businesses downtown. They had a ton of kids last
They
year, so
did.
it was a lot of fun, but
yeah. And then, so I didn't have as many kids as my door,
Is that
the
Wednesday?
young ones.
What date is the 31st?
Thursday,
Thursday.
Thursday, okay.
it's my day off.
Mayor's comments, I do want to publicly recognize Chief Marsh for 30 years of service. His last official day is Friday,
Thank you,
and
Chief.
he'll turn over the keys to Chief Daniel Banks.
Wow,
Almost.
wow.
Daniel Banks, pardon me.
Chrissy, don't put that in the notes.
It'll be on video.
It's on the tape. Scott, Public Works Committee from September 11th.
Yes, first item was a discussion and approval of some work at the soccer fields, the city-owned property, and the school is participating in the tiling of that property. We had some discussion on loader lease, which we tabled. We approved the purchase of a new pickup, which is on the agenda, I believe, tonight. We donated an old greens mower to Hawkeye Community College. And then we had 3 or 4 sewer adjustments.
Hey, Scott, any questions for Scott?
Greens mower, do we have another greens mower?
It was an old greens mower that was up at the baseball diamonds. It was,
What are they mowing the greens with down here, I wonder?
They got a good one.
They do have
Yeah.
another one?
Yep,
Okay.
yep.
Awesome. I think it's a great thing for them. Good partnerships.
Hey, Scott, open the public hearing on the issuance of conduit bonds for terraces at West Glen, which is related to New Aldea, correct?
Yes.
Any written comments?
No.
Any verbal comments?
It's a pleasure to work with you.
Thank you. We'll close the public hearing. General government, Hudson City Council maintains the right to waive the first and second readings of the ordinances presented and may pass the third and final reading of the same ordinance within the same council meeting. For items A, B, and C, I asked Chrissy if she had had any written or oral comments since our last council meeting when we passed the first. There have been none. So at this point on item A, discussion action to approve the second reading of ordinance 820, an ordinance amending the code of ordinances of the city of Hudson, Iowa by amending provisions pertaining to conflict of interest. I'd be taking either a motion to waive the second or a motion for the second.
I'll motion to waive the second.
Do I have a second for that?
I'll second it.
Discussion?
Is there any reason we need to waive a second and go to straight to a third?
No.
Okay.
Other than the fact it keeps it off another agenda.
So is this the time to ask you to just summarize what that is?
Yeah.
I mean, I read through it in the packet, but just kind of in layman's terms.
Yeah,
Because what are we gonna do? We're gonna vote on the waive, and then we're gonna vote on the motion?
yes,
So maybe that question should be for when we get to the motion, but whatever.
Doesn't matter.
it's works. Okay, so they are, the state legislature is increasing the total of purchase price to $6,000 for any, like company that, or type of ownership for people that are on council.
So if Scott wanted to do something with Town and Country for the city, they can do up to a $6,000.
Up to $6,000.
Without him
Without conflict of
recusing
interest.
himself.
Right.
Yes.
Got
It
it.
had been 2,500 previously.
Yeah, it was a
5,000.
really, it might have been 5,000, but I don't
Got it.
remember what the exact total is, but they did increase it.
I'm gonna ask the same question on the next two items. so
That's
this-
fine, nope, you're fine,
Start looking up the page numbers.
Yeah.
that's fine.
All in favor of waiving the second, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
Okay, I'll have a motion to
I mean,
approve
you,
to the third reading.
I move to approve the third reading.
Second,
I'll second.
further discussion? Now, roll call.
Alright, Engel,
Aye.
Stabell,
Aye.
Buns.
Aye.
Reister.
Aye.
Wyatt,
Aye.
sorry, I had a brain fart.
Oh, she forgot me.
Sorry. Not on purpose.
Okay, item B, discussion action to approve the second reading of ordinance 821, an ordinance amending the code of ordinances of the council of Hudson, Iowa by amending provisions pertaining to operating budget preparation. Chrissy, why don't you go ahead and explain it
Okay.
first?
So this one, state legislation is changing the way that we have to now do the budget. So, so when we do the budget, they are requiring another public hearing. So if we have more than 2% growth in our valuation, then we are required to disclose what amount of growth we have to the public, and so we have to have another public hearing.
Is it growth or is it millage rate?
It's based on tax valuation.
Okay.
So if we have a 2% growth, it's based on tax valuation. So if most cities are gonna have to do
Okay.
that first public hearing. So then, after that, then you'll have your normal public hearing to approve the budget. But you have to, going back to the first public hearing, you have to state the reasons why your growth is higher than the 2%, which most of the time it's going to be if you have growth, or you have, your expenses of everything go up anyway. So,
And then it requires a 3/4 vote
yes.
to approve, which
Yep.
would take 4 out of 5,
when you
or
say,
3 out of 4.
when you say a percentage versus I mean, what we said.
I was just checking to make sure whether it was total taxable base, or
I see,
whether
I
it was
see, I
going from a 10 to a
Yep.
10.2.
Yep.
I think that is the major thing. They also moved the budget due date from March 31st, or March 15th to March 31st, it gives us an extra 15 or 16 days because of that extra public hearing. So,
I move to waive the second reading.
Is there a second?
Yeah, I'll second it.
Discussion on that waiver? All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed?
No.
You have a motion to approve the third reading.
I move to approve the third reading.
Second?
Sure.
That'll be the
Further
Engel and
discussion?
Stabell show.
Roll call.
Engel,
Aye.
Stabell,
Aye.
Wyatt,
Aye.
Reister,
Aye.
Bunce.
Aye.
Item C, discussion action to approve the second reading of ordinance 822, an ordinance amending the code of ordinances of the city of Hudson, Iowa by amending provisions pertaining to solid waste control.
So this one is, we're just amending a bunch of definitions, either adding or changing.
As mandated by state.
Per state.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are all based on legislative updates that we had over the course of the session. So,
I move to waive the second reading.
Second.
Discussion.
Thanks,
All in
guys.
favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No. I just-
Just wanna be on record.
No.
I hear
I just
you.
don't like waiving stuff.
I hear you.
There's no reason to.
I've been thinking of it too, yeah. That's why I asked that first question.
But I'll move that we pass the third reading now. Is that gonna
I'll
make everyone
second
feel
that.
better?
You gotta roll call that
Roll call.
one. Engel,
Aye.
Stabell,
Aye.
Bunce,
Aye.
Reister,
Aye.
Wyatt.
Aye.
5-0. Item D, discussion action to approve resolution 2522, resolution authorizing and approving the issuance of conduit bonds for the terraces at West Glen project and the execution and delivery of the documents related thereto. Have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second?
Discussion? Roll call.
Engel,
Aye.
Buns,
Aye.
Stabell,
Aye.
Wyatt,
Aye.
Reister.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank
Yeah,
you very
thank you.
much. Have a nice
Best
evening.
wishes.
You too.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Item E, discussion action to approve resolution 2523, resolution providing the sale of bonds, setting parameters for the sale of bonds, and approving a purchase agreement and an official statement. Part of the reason, part of the packet of what we're doing here is.
Yeah, you did the,
No, we're on E.
we're
Right.
in E.
Okay.
Oh,
Oh, sorry.
yep,
Yeah.
sorry.
Thought that was included.
Hey, finally I was right. You had me believing that
Yeah,
it's
I
good.
did.
Jim.
Yeah, sorry about that.
And this is for, the secondary market was closed today, so the actual sale of these bonds, the refinancing will be tomorrow. So part of what you're approving is that when we get the prices tomorrow, Chrissy and I can sign the documents for the whole transaction rather than have to have another council meeting tomorrow or do a move meeting.
Well, and this also allows, because when we have our next, our first meeting in October is actually considered a holiday. So this also allows for the mayor and I to sign them early.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
Could you just list the amount and the rate, so that projected rate and the amount?
Projected rate somewhere around 2%.
Yeah, I'm not.
And overall savings for the remaining life of the bonds is somewhere around $170,000 projected at,
Yeah.
on the $3,095,000. Roll call.
Engel,
Aye.
Reister.
Aye.
Buns,
Aye.
Stabell,
Aye.
Wyatt.
Aye.
5-0. Item F, discussion action to approve resolution 2524, resolution to purchase a new pickup truck for the streets and parks department of the city of Hudson as recommended by the Public Works Committee. Motion to approve?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Discussion?
I will say that I do wanna make it a quick discussion, cause I saw this over the weekend and I was talking at work today about trading in an F-150 for an F-350, as far as what the differences in costs are. And it's less than $1,000 is what it ended up being. So for that amount of money, it makes complete sense to go with, but I was originally questioning that. Why are we going from a 150, can we get by with still a 150 rather than moving up? But it was like $600 to go to a 250 and like $1,000 to go to a 350, so again, for the amount of time that's gonna save us and as far as towing capacity and everything else, so.
Yeah, we had that discussion.
We didn't have that.
Yeah, just wanted to
We
make
probably
sure
didn't
that,
have it detailed in the committee meeting.
yep, just wanted to
Thanks for
make sure
checking
that
that.
everybody brought that up too again,
Yep.
because I just asked on a whim this morning.
Yep. Roll call.
Engel,
Aye.
Wyatt,
Aye.
Reister.
Aye.
Buns.
Aye.
Stabell.
Aye.
5-0. Item G, discussion action to approve resolution 2525, resolution setting public hearing regarding the approval of the revised preliminary plat for Twin Oaks Edition, setting the public hearing for October 14th.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Roll call.
Buns.
Aye.
Reister.
Aye.
Engel,
Aye.
Wyatt,
Aye.
Stabell.
Aye.
5-0. Informational items, there's a number of them in there. Reminder items, regularly scheduled meetings are held at council chambers except for the electric board and the library board. Public safety committee meeting will be September 26th at 4 p.m.
Yay!
Public Works Committee, October 15th at 7 a.m. Mayor's Task Force tentatively October 15th at 5 p.m. That may cancel, nothing comes up. Personnel Finance Committee, October 28th at 4:45. Next council meetings, we're having a special council meeting next Thursday, October 10th at 6 p.m. And then regular council meeting Monday, October 14th at 6 p.m. Motion to adjourn?
Move to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
What's this special?
Adjourn.
What's this?
You can-